the birth of Achsar and Achsartek. Warhek was in those days among the eldest of the Nartæ. To him were born two sons, twins. One came at the first cock-crow, the other before the morning star Vernon had appeared in the sky, at the second cock-crow. The rays of the rising sun glanced into the hearts of Warhek, and he felt how dear to him were these two newborn babies. So that the day of their birth should bring the newcomers happiness, Warhek prepared a feast consisting of game caught in the hunt to regale his guests. Warhek invited the heavenly smith Cordalagon and the ruler of the deep seas Don Better, and highly esteemed Nartæ, Bora, and others were called to that rich feast. Cordalagon took a fancy to Warhek's sons and named them so. The elder he called Achsar and the younger Achsartek. Why did he give them these names? Speaking of a brave man, one says Achsar. The first brother was such a brave young fellow and so received that name. But the second brother was even bolder, and so he was called Achsartek, which means bravest. To celebrate the naming of newborn, Cordalagon presented Warhek with a magic flute Udefts, which he had forged himself from tempered steel at his heavenly forge. The Nartæ placed the wonderful flute Udefts on the festive table, and it began to play on its own accord, merrily and resoundingly. Take a cup of meat, take a cup of meat, drink it down indeed, to please the god. For 7 days and 7 nights Warhek's guests feasted, and when the feast was over, Cordalagon leapt into the crest of a fiery storm cloud, and like wide-winged Paconza flew off them to the heavens. Don Better changed into a fiery fish and disappeared into the sea depths. The Nartæ, as befits those who spend their life on a campaign, went off on a dangerous expedition. Achsar and Achsartek grew with each passing hour. In one day grew they 2 inches, and in night a whole hand's breadth. They were a mischievous pair. They made for themselves bows and arrows, and there was not a bird who could fly over their heads. They shot them down immediately, and they fell like stones to the earth. The whole world soon knew that the Nartæ Warhek had 2 gallant grown-up twin sons, Achsar and Achsartek.